Hi, student. Introduction to Economics. And this time, today, I will proceed the review of Chapter 2 uh, as a summary and questions. Through this chapter, summary and questions, you will concrete your memory. You have taught, you have been taught, okay? Then I hope you remind the fast memory regarding, thinking like economist. Okay. Then we will see the summary first of chapter 2. In chapter 2, we have studied economists try to address their subject with a scientist object. Okay. Objectivity, like all scientists. They make appropriate assumptions and build a simplified model to understand the world around them. Two simple economic models are the circular flow diagram and production possibility frontier. I believe you remind this one. We have studied, right? The assumptions, what the assumptions means, right? The meaning of assumptions, right? Meaning of assumptions, right? And the assumption should be simple because to detect, to detect here simplified. Okay, I told you the reason why assumption should be simplified. That is, uh, to see the relations between targeted variable, we have deleted all, surrounding, object and circumstance. Because to simplify is to see clearly the relation of a certain object we are targeting. So that was the reasons the assumption should be simplified. So the model, okay? In reality, actually, lots of surrounding variables, right? Lots of surrounding variables, okay. Surrounding variables, lots of surrounding variables. But we should ignore this one because this surrounding many variables rather makes problem worse. We cannot easily detect actual relation of targeting variables. So we delete these surrounding variables. Okay, that was the one way once you address some issues. So, and the appropriate assumption building is very necessary in this case to make clear of the problem and to detect the relation clearly. Okay, so I have emphasized this one, and then we have studied the assumptions and then region of simplified model. The same way with economists. Economists also follow the similar method of a scientist objectivity. Okay, so uh, we have already studied the method approaching the problem, right? Okay, so uh, among these assumptions, we have also run the two basic economic models, right? Circular flow diagram and production possibility frontier, okay? Uh, so the circular flow diagram is very, very simple, but very, very basic and important. How economic works. So in this diagram, two entity, right? Household and firm, right? Household and firm, household and firm. Later on, additionally, we will add a government. But in this stage, we just refer household and firm and see what's going on in real economy. Okay, we had the two, market, right? Two market, right? So in the two market, in some market, the household is a seller, and in some different market, the firm was a seller. And on the contrary, the role of household as a purchaser and uh, as a purchase was different, right? It changed. So I remember that, and I hope you remember that too. And then production possibility frontier, also the productions, the possibility which production can reach, right? This one was a frontier, right? Frontier. So we told this one is a frontier, right? The frontier. Frontier is the contact point, inner and outer, of this curve. This curve was called the maximum production line, right? So we call this is the frontier. This is a barrier. This is a barrier. Okay, this is barrier. Distinguish and divide the inner and out. Yeah? The inner area is production availability areas. The outer area is out of production area. Okay, so if some point within out of out 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 of a frontier line, meaning that this is not possibility area of this country or this firm's productions. Okay, so once the point is inside, okay, so we call this point is consist of fair, right? Fair, meaning x coordinate and y coordinate paired. Okay, x coordinate and y coordinate paired, right? This is oddly paired, we call it. This is oddly paired, meaning that x corresponding to y, okay, can be shown with this point. So we can easily detect the positions and productions ratios, between two articles, whatever, which is a comparison, okay, which is compared together, okay. Okay, so the first theory we have been taught in chapter 2 was economists try to address their subject with a scientist's objectivity. Like all scientists, they made appropriate assumptions and build a simplified model to understand the world around them, right? Two simple economic model was, okay, it's very basic. The circular flow diagram we have already learned, and the production possibility frontier. Okay, so that's it, right? So this is the first, basic theory we have studied, right? Then after deleting this one, we'd better go the next step, right? Next step, okay? Okay, go, okay. 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 Next one was I'll delete my page a little. A positive statement is on the assertion What is the positive statement then? I told you we have a positive statement and normative statement right here. Normative statement. Okay. The positive statement is a state, just a proof, just a proof, just a proof scientific method as it is. The result through scientific method, through arithmetic method, statistic method, that is scientific method as it is. The result, according to the result as it is, right? The researcher will insist, okay, like that. And the normative is on the basis of a positive, okay? The normative is on the basis is a positive, okay? On the basis of a positive, positive plus the value of economist. Value, value, you know, their, ideology and value of a society and value of something and his philosophy right there, okay? And on the basis of positive scientific result plus the value of life or value of something, okay? It is meaning that this is very philosophic, approach, okay, on the association about how the world ought to be, okay? This is very, abstract, okay, abstract, okay. This is just the scientific result itself, the positive statement, okay. And let's see the next then, okay. Okay, positive statement I told you, and normative statement, okay, positive and normative. Uh, we have to distinguish these two. The normative is on the basis of a positive, okay, evidence. And anyway, positive is just proving, scientific method and the result as it is. On the basis of a positive normative system is on the basis of positive normative system, normative statement is acting more as a policy advisor than scientist. Okay, so I told you forward, and then that will be suggested as a policy advisor. Okay, policy advisor. So, okay. The field of economy is divided into two subfields, right? The subfield. This is also, we have learned, the microeconomy is a small area, and then macroeconomy is a bigger area, right? Microeconomy deals with home and household level, right? Home and household level. Contrary, macroeconomy deals with nation level. Okay, nation level. Okay. Okay. So microeconomists study decision making by, as I told you, decision making by household and firm, and then interacting, they're communicating, between among household and firms in the market. Okay, this is microeconomy. And macroeconomy study the pulse and trend that affect the economy as a whole, okay, as a whole, bigger level, right? Bigger level, country level, country level. But one thing we have to keep in mind is macroeconomy is not separate from microeconomy. It interacting, right? Interacting, and macroeconomy are connected to microeconomy, so they interact together because on the basis of microeconomy, macroeconomy works. Okay, so country level also that is accumulated result of okay, farm and household level. So macroeconomy is on the basis of microeconomy. Okay, microeconomy and macroeconomy relations are interactive. So we call this one is interactive. Interactive. Okay, interactive. So interactive. They are interactive between. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next. Okay. Okay. I will delete others. Okay. And economists who advise policymaker, okay, economist offer conflicting advice. Conflicting advice, right? Conflicting advice, okay? Conflicting advice, either because of difference in scientific judgment or because of different in value, okay? Value. So the value level is, I told you, this is okay, normative, okay, normative, and scientific judgment that is positive, right? Positive. I told you in the previous page, positive, right? So economists who advise policymakers like a congressman or government office, right? Office, whoever. So offer, okay, conflicting advice. The reason the conflicting is because they have a different scientific judgment and different value. Okay, um, they have different philosophy. Okay, looking over world. Okay, at other times, economists are united. Sometimes they are conflicting, but sometimes they are united in advice they offer. Their offer are same sometimes, but sometimes they are very conflicting. They have quite a different viewpoint, right? But policymakers may choose. Sometimes the policymaker choose to ignore it. Okay, to ignore it. Advise. Okay, advise. Okay. So because of policymakers are in different position because they have to consider their supporters, right? So they have a different viewpoint because another entity in their decision there is a citizens, okay, or voters to support them, okay, for next election. So the policymakers sometimes different from different from economists. They decide differently, ignoring economists' advisings. Okay, they choose different options. Okay, so that's the reason, because they have to, consider their support. So sometimes their choosing are quiet out of economics, right? Because of these reasons. Okay. So we can easily recall this statement, okay, in our previous study, chapter 2, right? Okay. Okay. And key concept this time. The key concept we have taught was circular flow diagram, right? Circular flow diagram we have studied, and we can recall the diagram, okay? Diagram flow and uh, production possibility frontier. Also, we know what it means, and microeconomy and macroeconomy. Just now we have reviewed, and positive statement, okay, and normative statement. Okay. So, okay. In this page, the questions for review. To concrete your memory and your knowledge, as questions here, and then as answering this question, you will keep in mind, this series in your mind deeply. So let's see the questions and review and keep in your mind. Okay. Okay. How is economy science? I told you the reasons we called economy, okay, as a science, the economist as a scientist, right? Because economists follow the same method, okay, okay, same method. Economist applied, okay? Economist applied, okay. So they crack the data, they set up the assumption, correct data, they analyze the data, like that, okay? The same procedure, right? Same procedure. They follow as an economist follows, right? Okay, and then, okay, why do economists make assumptions? Okay, assumptions. Because they want to follow, scientific method. Scientific method, right? Scientific method. Scientific method. Okay, scientific methods. To follow scientific method. The assumption. So they make an assumption, right? Okay. So this is another way. The positive statement. Okay, positive statement. Okay. Should an economic model describe reality exactly? What is the answer? No, actually not reflect reality exactly. No, doesn't, does not describe. Does not describe reality exactly, right? Why? Why? Because in this case, okay, let's see the in brief. Okay, the reasons. Let me. Okay, uh, the reason why, uh, you know, uh, the reason why economic model do not describe reality exactly is that because of simplicity of assumption. I told you, right? The simplicity of assumption. The simplicity of assumptions meaning that, okay, okay, uh, the simplicity of assumptions is that, uh, okay, uh, economists set up assumptions, set up assumptions, okay, set up assumptions as simply as possible, right? As simply as possible. As simply as possible, right? The reasons why as simply as possible is to detect clear relations between factors, right? Between factors. Okay. Uh, in reality, we have a lot of surrounding factors, meaning that variables, okay, many factors, okay, factors. But this factor connected very complexly, okay. So uh, we cannot, in this case, if we apply all the factor into one model, we will have a lot of variable and we cannot distinguish exactly what variable makes relations between and what variable makes an influence on others. Okay, so to clarify exact relation between certain variable we are targeting, so we just ignore unnecessary variables surrounding certain variables. So we just targeting and we just find certain variable we are targeting. Okay, we are targeting. As we do this method, we can clarify exact relations between, you know, variables. Okay, so we can detect the result. So actually, most of economic models simplify, assumptions, so they do not reflect all reality exactly. Okay, so this is answer of number three. Okay, then I will delete this one too. Okay, let me delete all of this. Okay, and then next question. Okay, next question, number 4. Name a way that your family interact in the fact market and a way that it interact, okay, in the product market. We have, okay, uh, circular model. I believe you recall, okay, what circular model, okay. We have two in circular floor. We have two market, right? We have two market, and we have two market. One market, okay, factor market, and the other is, product market, right? Product market. Okay. In factor market, the factor for production, for example, the capital, labor, okay, the capital, okay, the labor, like that. This one is dealt in, factor market, okay. In this market, the supplier is a household. Supplier. Okay, household. Okay. Contrary, purchase of this market is firm, right? Firm. Okay. Okay. By the cost of this market, firm produce product, and this time firms are provide for product market. Okay, so firms are provide in product market. In product market, firms produce product and service, and householders are buyer. Okay, householders are buyer, right? Oops. Holders are buyer. This time, contrary, right? And this cycle means that the flow of factors and flow of money. Okay, flow of factors and flow of money. Okay, so we have already studied, circular flow model, and we can easily detect how the economy works in reality by the entities. Here, two entities are assumed. Entity, household, and entity, household, and what? Firm. They interact in the market, in two markets, right? I told you, factor market and product market, okay? Factor market and product market, they interact together, okay? Okay? So, okay, so we have already seen the diagram, right? Yeah, here, the factors, capital, money, right? Money. Okay, household keep savings in the bank, and that savings is used by firm on the compensation with interest, right? And then land also. Land. The land is rented by the firm from household. So the capital for productions of a firm is classified capital, labor, rent. This is factors. Okay. See the next then. I will delete this and we will go next. Oops. Okay. Let's go next. Okay, question 4 review. The 5. In 5, question 5, name one economic interactions that isn't covered by simplified circular flow diagram. Okay, even we have explained economics in reality by adopting circular flow diagram, right? Circular flow diagram. Okay. Okay. The simplified circular flow diagram. We have to keep in mind. We have to co-adjust the simplified. Okay, simplified. Meaning that only two entities are assumed in simplified circular flow diagram. I told you two entities, one firm and the other household, right? Household. Okay, we just see the interaction between two entities. Okay, interaction, two entities. So other entities are excluded for simplify and for easy understanding how economy works. Okay? Just to provide these simple relations, but in reality we might have another entity like government. Okay, government for tax pay and international traders. Okay. The reason why we have to consider more extended entity is, for example, Starbucks. Okay, once you visited the Starbucks, okay, the Starbucks is a firm, right? It's firm, and you pay coffee. Then the money flow from your pocket to Starbucks cashier, right? And the money in Starbucks cashier won't be kept in cashier long time. As soon as you pay for coffee, this money from your pocket will be paid immediately, paid for rental, building, or pay for tax. And sometimes this money will be paid for trading, international trading, purchasing coffee. In this case, for instance, to Brazilian export. Okay, like this. Okay, so in reality, more entities are related and economy will be expanded more. But in simplified circular flow diagram, these relations extended is not shown. Right? It's not shown. Not shown, right? So we can we might omit this additional entity like government, international trade, okay, because this entity also should be included in reality. But in simplified circular flow diagram, we do not include this one. We just want to see the simple relations and to detect a basic concept how economic works between firm and household. That's it. Okay? So we do not reflect the government in terms of payment of tax and international trading like that. Okay, so these factors are not included in simple circular flow diagram. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Question number 6, asking draw. I will delete all of this. So draw and explain the production possibility frontier, right? Production possibility frontier, okay? The production possibility frontier for economy that produce milk and what? Milk and, okay, and, oh, sorry. Okay, I think we have some wrong questions here. Let me check, okay? Not milk and, not macroeconomic. This is wrong printed, I guess. Not, this is not, okay? So I will delete this one with red. Milk and similar product, like biscuit. Okay. Let me. Okay. Then. Okay. Then. Product possibility frontier shows like this. Okay. Product possibility frontier is the diagram, right? Diagram explaining, okay, here the maximum possibility of production possibility. This is we call the frontier. Okay, frontier. This is the cover frontier here. Okay, the inner sections and outer sections here, right? Okay, along this frontier, this is maximum efficiency. That's efficiency. Once firm or a certain firm or country can reach this line and moving along this line means that production is efficient. They reached efficiency of productions. But farm or country product level located within this frontier we called inefficiency. Of course, they can reach up to this frontier, though they only reach within this one, meaning that they do not use 100% resources and factors for productions. Factors or resources. They do not use this one completely. Okay? They do not completely. They do not use this one, not completely. Okay? In this case, we called inefficiency. Contrary, if the point is located out this frontier, the out point from frontier, we call this is a non-production area. Impossible. Production is not completed, not implemented in this point because limited factors. Okay, we cannot reach here within given resources. Okay, because the given resources is quite restricted. Okay, each country has restrictions of listed. This is the similar and conditions. Each has a restricted, okay, limited conditions. So we cannot reach here. Okay. So okay, then let's draw our possibility. Frontier is. This is, for example, this is the possibility frontier of milk, and if cow died, okay, cow died tremendously by some disease, then naturally we will have a reduced milk production. Then the possibility frontier curve will move inside, not outside, like this, right? Like this. But in this case, because of the cow death, the production possibility line would move into inner part, right? But in case of a biscuit is not made from milk, maybe even used a very small amount, right? Then the biscuit production won't be influenced by death of a cow, right? By death of a cow. So the production line won't move inside. Okay? Production line will be fixed as it is. Okay? As it is. Understand? Okay, this is the answer of number 6. Okay? Production possibility frontier, this frontier, we call this curve as a frontier. This frontier will move inside or fixed owing to how ingredient of certain product depends on certain resources. Okay? In case of milk depends on 100% cow. Depends 100% on cow, right? So production possibility line will be, frontier will be move inside because of less production of milk. Then the production capacity will be decreased. Okay, so this is how the curved frontier will move inside, okay? But in case of different product, which is not related to, milk as an ingredient, then the frontier won't move. It might be fixed, right? It might be fixed. No moving, okay? No moving. Okay, here we have learned that by answering number 6, the frontier possibility line is depending on, factors, right? Factors. Because these frontier line are assumed that limited resources and limited factors, okay? Okay, factors are limited. Understand? Okay, see you next. Okay, this is a okay. This is the answer we have. This is question we have already answered. The cookie. What happened to this frontier if disease kills half of economics cow? Okay, half of cow, right? Not economics, also maybe wrong. Okay, half of cow was killed by disease. Then what happened in case of cookie? Cookies is not deeply depend on cookies are not deeply cookies not deeply depends on doesn't depends on cow. Okay, maybe small amount, right, of using of milk as ingredient. So even there is a big demand of cow owing to disease kills, disease deaths, the frontier cover do not move inside. Frontier cover is not influenced by death of cow. Okay, so as we detect the how much it moves, right, we can easily detect the influence of factors, okay, on certain product. Understand that one? Okay. Okay, let's go to the next step then. Okay. The efficiency, right? I told you the efficiency of frontier line. So I just now explained this one too, right? If efficiency, so for example, okay, in frontier line like this, this is frontier line. Okay, once the production capacity move along this frontier line. This frontier line means the maximum capacity, max capacity. So max capacity of the production. So once the production point moving whatever portions between certain product A and product B, the point here means that, okay, this is the ordinary, called ordinary, fare. Meaning that there is a X product and Y product quotients. Okay? Meaning that the Y production variance according to X product variations. This pair shows the variance ratios, right? Variance ratio. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next. So, um, 8. What are the same topic that are addressed in? Okay. What is different between the positive and normative statement? Given an example of each. Okay, I gave you that normative. This one previously we referred to regarding this several times, but I told you the positive is a result of empirical, right? Empirical. We call this one empirical. Empirical test using statistic method, right? Statistic method. Okay, this is empirical result. Okay, for example, uh, increase increase currency, increase currency occur inflations. Okay, this is a simple hypothesis. Okay, proving increase currency, the issuing, money, higher issuing money occur inflations. This is a simple result, right? Okay, there is a relation between, increase currency and inflations. Okay, there is the correlation between two variables, right? Variables. This is variable. Okay, two variables. Okay. Okay, regardless which is independent, which is dependent variable. Anyway, two variables. So we see the two variables relations and saying that, okay, like this, increase currency occurs inflations. If some scholars say like this, economists say this like this is just, showing the result of a mathematic, result. So this is we call the positive statement, right? But if some scholar insist that, okay, government should reduce money, then this is normative. Okay, normative. Okay, understand this one, the relation between two, right? Positive means the same, the result as it is the statement of mathematical result as it is. Okay, so correcting data of money increase. Money increase data can be easily detected by central bank, right? Central bank. Okay, and then the inflation rate also from central bank. The inflation rate is the increased degree of pricing, right? So it also can be corrected by central bank. Okay, inflation rate. Inflation rate. Inflation rate can be determined by the guideline. Okay, by the guideline, 3%, 5%, 4%, whatever. Okay. Anyway, we will determine the certain guideline and contrast, between the pricing of pricing of a product, and then money increasing, right? We will compare the two by regression model. Okay. Anyway, this is the mathematic method. Okay, mathematic method, and result is scientific. Result. On the basis of this result, okay, hypothesis is simple, right? Okay, this way of interest, this way of insister, we call just is positive, but normative is on the basis of this factor, then we include value, okay, of economists or scholars. Okay, so value plus, okay, you know, positive result. Then we can reach this the normative. Okay, normative. So just uh, impressions. Even though we have impressions, we have to increase the wage of labor. Then that is normative. But simply increase the wage will occur impressions. That is positive. Okay, so normative statement include the value of researcher and scholar. Okay, their uh, personal value. Okay, singing society. Okay, so it include in normative statement. The normative statement is just ethic attitude. It's ethic attitude plus positive statement result combined together. Okay. 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 So once you state normative statement, you are policy advisor. But once you simply state positive statement, you are scientist itself. Okay. So I will delete this one. Okay, and go to next. Okay. Okay. Why do economists sometimes offer competing advice to policymakers? Okay, policymakers, because they have a different value, right? Because they have a different value in their own inside. Okay, because they have a different value. So the answer is each economist has a different value. These reasons why they have different value, meaning a different view of point. Different view of point. Okay, different view of point. Different view of point. They have different view of point. Okay, that's the reasons why economists sometimes offer competing meaning they have arguing. Okay, they're arguing. Okay, They're arguing advice to policymakers because they have a different point of view. So each economist has different view, right? Viewpoint. I'm sorry. Okay. So let's go to next step then. Okay. So same concept are repeated here. Okay, same concept. So the similar statement repeated. I think this is why because why to let you remind deeply again and again. Okay, so sometimes boring because the repetition of the same concept, but this is the way to keep you mind, to keep you in mind this concept. Okay, so I'll repeat again. So 보면 draw a circular flow diagram. Identify the part of the model. Identify part of model that corresponding to the flow. We have a flow here and money flow and the resource flow, the factors flow, right? Factors flow and money flow. And money flow and factor flow, they are corresponding. Okay? The money flow are correspond to the factors flow as much as the same value as much as factors flow. Then at the same time, on the reverse way, the money flow. Okay? Okay. This is simply, you can imagine that if you buy some product in the product market, okay, you will obtaining product. Okay. Oh, sorry. Then, oh, sorry. Product. Okay. You purchase product here. Product. But contrary, you pay to the seller. Okay. Pay money. So money and product flow reversely, right? Reverse, flow reverse. So this money, this pay corresponding to product here, right there. Okay. So they move reverse, but the price is corresponding to product. Okay. This is the flow part. Models correspond to the flow. This is correspond to the flow. Okay. Corresponding to the flow. Okay, number two. That's number two. Oh, here, the remaining some sentences we omitted. Okay, corresponding to the flow of good and service and the flow of dollar, okay, money and the flow, I told you just now that the flow of money and product move reverse. Right? But corresponding here, corresponding. Okay, you pay for as much value as product. Okay, so they are corresponding, right? And then they move reverse. Okay, this is very simple, right? Simple seller buyer, right? Okay, product from seller to buyer, but money from buyer to seller corresponding. Okay. Okay, and see next. Okay, here Serena pay a storekeeper $1 per quart of milk, right? Per quart of milk, student on 4.50 cent per hour working in the fast food restaurant, and Shana spent 30 to get a haircut. Okay, Sharian, uh, okay, Sharian's 10,000 from her 10% ownership over arcane industry. Okay. Okay, this should be drawed. Okay, drawed. So I hope I will give you the assignment. The home assignment, drawing this. Okay, remembering our previous lessons. Okay, on the basis of our previous lessons. Okay, I will give you to draw. Uh, I will give you this one as assignment and draw in your home, right? Okay, this one. Okay, and then once Serena pay the 1 cent for the quart of milk diagram, how it works, you can draw the circular flow. Okay, okay, this one is same, right? Okay, then we have a part, corresponding part. When Selena paid house storekeeper, sorry. Okay, when Selena pays the storekeeper, $1 for quart of milk, then Selena will have a corresponding parties. Okay, corresponding parties, Okay, this is paying. Then product will from housekeeper to Serena. Okay, so you can draw the diagram, right? Diagram of the circular flow. Okay, you can draw this one at home as an assignment. Okay, B, C, D, the same. Okay, you can draw this one for yourself, and then please remind, okay, the concept of circular model. Okay, okay. Okay, so we have another sections, problem and applications, and we have another sections in next class and different class. Okay, thank you for watching, and please keep in mind, uh, remind as reading and practice. Okay, this summary and questions, and you can summarize chapter 2 as a whole and keep in mind. Okay, okay, I will continue next from problem and applications. Okay.